So after Derwin and Minka, who are usually thought of as the top two safeties in this class, especially if you classify Minka as a safety, the question comes in, who's that third safety going to be? Like, who's that next of the best? Might not be quite in that class, but you feel like you're going to get a pretty good player. And usually that's not always a bad position to be in. Is what tends to happen is when you have one or two elite guys or highly touted, highly ranked guys at a position, it's that next wave, that next guy that really can benefit because they end up getting drafted higher than maybe was initially anticipated because somebody else wants that type of impact player, and they might tell themselves, hey, this guy's not that much different. We can still get pretty good bang for our buck here. And for me, what I see, the number 3 safety in this class is Justin Reid from Stanford. I know some people are going to go with a Jesse Bates, or they may go with somebody else. For me, it's Justin Reid. I liked a lot of what I saw out of him at Stanford. I don't think he's quite on a Derwin level as a safety. I don't think he's quite the overall prospect. Even the raw grading worked out. Like I said, the raw grading is not the be-all, end-all. But he's not quite at the same level as Minka, but he's not that far behind. This is a pretty good football player to me. He's got okay size as a safety, especially if you're playing him at the free safety at about 6 foot, 207 pounds. He's a great athlete, though. Great quickness and burst, big-time speed. He's got the speed that shows up on film. He validated that by running a 4.4 flat in the 40 at the combine, so you know the guy has wheels. You know he's a guy that you're comfortable with his athleticism translating as a center field type of free safety, as a guy that can come up and cover a wide range in zone. He's a guy that can come up and help out against outside guys in the slot and be able to run with them in man. You really like that athletic package. You know, not every safety has to run that. You have plenty of safeties that have long, productive, great NFL careers that run in the 4.6s. But, man, it's nice if they run a 4.4 flat. Justin Reid's also really, really good in man coverage. And I felt like you saw that consistently in 2017. He's got fluid hips. He could change direction really quickly and get right back up to speed and not really miss a beat. Some guys, when they flip and turn their hips, they stall quite a bit, and it takes them a little bit to get their momentum and get back up to speed, and you don't have to worry about that with Reid. He can flip quickly and basically stay at the same momentum or relatively close to it. He's got the ability to adjust quickly, like I said, and get back up to speed. His long speed translates very well to being able to defend. He's not a huge guy, so he's not necessarily a guy that you would utilize a ton in press coverage, but he's got the athletic package to be able to stay with guys, and he's also got great ball skills, just great ball skills. He had 5 picks in 2017. He flashed the ability to consistently have a nose for turning his head at the right time and locating the football. It's one thing if you can cover, but you have to be able to turn your head and locate the ball to avoid some of the pass interference penalties, and Justin Reid has the ability to do that. Like I said, he's got great speed and athleticism, and means that he can cover a wide range in zone, plays with a high motor. He's really, really high level, high energy type of guy. Pretty dependable and durable player, and Stanford used him up close to the line, back some of center field. They would use him in man. They would use him in zone. They used him all over the place, and I understand that. In terms of my concerns for him, like what keeps him from being at the Derwin or even the Minka level, it's a couple of things. He's not the biggest guy. He plays hard, but he's not incredibly strong. He tries to hit hard, and he can at times, but not consistently. He's not a guy that you want laying a bunch of wood. Sometimes as a run defender too, he can get a little out of position. He gets shook in the open field a little bit more than you would like. Also, while he's a sound tackler, he can get a little out of control, get himself a little out of position, and sometimes will miss him. He'll also miss some tackles due to a lack of strength. The single biggest concern I have about him, though, are his instincts. Consistently reactive, not proactive, not great at anticipating, slow to recognize the play that's coming, at least a step slow, sometimes more. And sometimes when you watch him, he's just absolutely lost. And as a corner, that's one thing, because how much is that really going to matter? As a safety, though, especially as a free safety, and especially as somebody that you're going to use as your last line of defense, potentially as a center fielder, Is he going to bite on play action way too often? Is he going to be a guy that loses his assignment? Is he going to be a guy that helps out to the wrong place? That, to me, is the single biggest concern with him. And I feel like that's something that he can get better at. I feel like it's something he can improve at. And if he does, this guy is going to be a really damn good player in the National Football League. I would expect him to be at least as good as his brother Eric, if not potentially better. In terms of his draft range, I look at him as one of those guys you look at somewhere between picks 25 and maybe 40, a first to second round type of talent. Outside of the quickness and speed, I don't know if there's anything else that you would classify as elite or close to elite level in terms of his overall game, except maybe the ball skills. But other things, like he's very, very good in man coverage, but he's not perfect. There are better man cover guys. Like I think Derwin is a better man cover guy than him in this safety class. His zone coverage needs some work. His run defense could use some work. So he's got a couple of issues here and there, but still a pretty good football player, and we shouldn't overthink it. And for me, I feel like he's a more complete and easily projectable safety as a free safety to make an impact early in his NFL career than Jesse Bates is. So we'll see if a team like the Steelers falls in love with him, somebody like Minnesota falls in love with him, somebody like Jacksonville. That's what I'm starting talking about, is that range of the late 20s to somewhere like 25 to 40, I feel like is where he should ultimately fall in this draft.